I want leadership. But don't just like boss me around, you know? Like lead me. Lead me when I'm in the mood to be led.
It's not your job to heal black men. If you're a black woman, I need you to understand that. It is not your job to heal black men. That's their job. A lot of black women will say, oh my God, they have it so hard. You have it harder. You have it harder. Now what? You don't need to be gentle with black men. If you're gentle with them, you're treating them like boys and not men.
We get into a very difficult territory these days, at least, when we talk about the word leadership in the black community, because many people associate black male leadership with oppression. That said, we have to acknowledge where we're starting from to understand why it's so difficult specifically to respect black male leaders in the black community without one important caveat.
One thing my grandpa used to preach to me was like, women don't need you. I'm like, dang, that's crazy, that's deep. Because they don't. You know, women got toys to fill that void. they taking trips now. They got friends. They going on brunch. They going to Pilates together. Women know how to be content, even if they ain't getting sex, even if they ain't getting love from a man. They can be content. But men, we can't do that. That's why you see men out here off their rocker, crashing out, don't know what to do. You need to understand, calm down, bro. You need a woman. It ain't all about the sex, bro, but you need companionship. You need a woman to talk to. You need friends. I'm learning about my life, bro. I was so content on I don't need a woman. Yes, you do. It's okay to admit it because women are a blessing from God. 100.
Women are a direct connection to God and the universe.
I'm getting very close to the point where I've spent half of my life overseas, and something that you just don't see overseas is men walking around calling their women God. That is something that is very unique to the black experience. And to hear this man say, basically, I can't live without a woman, and then the woman right behind him say that being next to a woman or with a woman is a connection directly to God, that is something that's extremely unique. And so how do you be a leader in a situation where basically you think that the woman is being with you as some kind of favor that's linking you to God? That's not putting you in a leadership position. You can't. How do you lead God if you think that your access to her in her womb is God itself? It puts us in a strange situation, which, again, has this special caveat that if you listen closely, you can hear exactly what it is from Tiffany Cross.
What am I getting wrong? Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute, pure, self-hating, little energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance, it is sad to me that he even gets an audience of black men. Why aren't black men right now saying, Stephen A. Smith, we banning him, we not listening to his podcast, we're not watching his show anymore? That's what black women do. We organize.
Yeah, but you don't need to be gentle with black men. If you're gentle with them, you're treating them like boys and not men.
When you look at the response that Tiffany Cross has to Stephen A. Smith, well, first of all, it shows why there's SYSBM, because there's some deep-rooted issues in the black community between black men and black women. But it also illustrates the fact that when she chose to go after his manhood, she's essentially saying, you're not the kind of man that I am supposed to respect in terms of having a political opinion or otherwise. You're not the kind of person that should be leading me. What you're supposed to do is, well...
You know, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women.
Women are a direct connection to God and the universe.
I'm Philly sometimes.
I say it like this. If you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do.
Damn.
Does that make sense?
I want to tweet that, but it ain't going to sound the same. They got the cadence.
We've all heard this quote from Jill Scott before, and essentially what she's saying, she's suggesting it, is that some men have the masculinity that I will allow to lead me, and other men don't have the masculinity that I will allow to lead me. And that leads us many times in the black community as men to think that we have to find someone that's going to, well, quote unquote, let us lead.
All he wanted was respect. And when I got into a relationship after that with a man that I respected at the time, I realized the difference. I realized how that man operated when I was giving him that respect, when I was making him feel so manly, and I was, like I was letting him lead, and I was listening to him, and I wasn't undermining him. I wasn't emasculating him.
A lot of men are like, today's woman doesn't know how to allow a man to lead. It's just like, we'll let you lead if we know and trust you know where you're going. Because a lot of times when men say this kind of thing, like, I want to control my household, I want to be the man of the house, it's just like, do you even know what that actually means and what will be required of you to hold that title?
Because if you listen to Stephen A. Smith and you find anything other than some absolute, pure, self-hating, little energy nonsense from that half-witted idiot basking in the non-existent rays of his own ignorance.
You don't need to be gentle with black men. If you're gentle with them, you're treating them like boys and not men.
So we end up with this modern day dichotomy in the black community where on the one end, you kind of have this implicit belief that black women by birth are closer to God than black men, and thus if black men are going to try to build institutions like families, political institutions, etc. in the black community, our political views have to match each other before we have the opportunity to lead anything. And then on the other side, you get a kind of justification for the fact that you don't have to show black men any softness or respect, which is exactly what Tiffany Cross did when she chose to disagree with the political opinion of Stephen A. Smith. But she did use the little d energy. And if you look at the title of this post, if he leads properly, I'll submit nastily, I mean naturally. I think that's exactly what she means when she inserts his size into a political difference of opinions.
If he leads properly, I will submit nastily, naturally. I will submit naturally.
From Philly sometimes.
I say it like this. If you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do.
If he leads properly, I will submit nastily, naturally. I will submit naturally. If he leads properly, I will submit nastily, naturally. I will submit naturally.
We right now have a white supremacist that is sitting in the White House. He is backed up by other white supremacists. And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the pleasure of the president. They are the ones that were there on January 6th, tearing our democracy down physically. And now we have them tearing us down right here from within.
I'm not too big on the politics, but I want to point out one particular thing about Stephen A. Smith's response to this message from Jasmine Crockett.
Interrupt you, but President Trump, of course, has denied any allegations he's a white supremacist, and that's why he apparently fired what he is. I know your point, but he did fire Darren Beatty in reaction, they believe, in part to his attendance at that conference. Does that change your opinion in any way?
No, it doesn't change my opinion.
So that's the first clip. There's a president of the United States that you're calling a white supremacist, and you're saying that the people who work under him are that as well. While you're in the government needing assistance from that administration to get things done for your constituency and beyond. Okay, that's clip number one.
And that's the point right there. You're not there to make everyone like you. You're not there to have a feel-good story. You're trying to get things done, and he points that out. And that is worthy of attack. Not to mention the fact that how can you submit to a guy that looks like this? In the black community? Absolutely not.
The problem is that Americans thought that it was okay to take a full-fledged criminal and make him the president of the United States, and then they want to act aghast when he does criminal things. Let me tell you, we have a thug in charge of the United States, and if we don't wake up, we may not have a United States, because right now he has only been successful in being a divider in chief.
So you care about facts, meaning the Democrats and the Republicans don't. Okay. That's another clip. And by the way, full-fledged criminal and thug. Those were words. How about this one, where she called the president a piece of shit? Play it.
Because the Supreme Court has paved the way for half the stuff that we see that's going on. Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is.
Donald Trump is... That's what she said.
Now, if you're in the black community and you want to have some politics that are divergent from this, and I'm not saying Republican because I just can't, not yet, but just you want to represent yourself, your political opinion in a way where you're not referring to the person that's running the country as that, then you're going to have to do something different. And that's where the attack comes from, because as I said earlier, we're supposed to have our opinions align with this hyper emotional, aggressive, combative energy that says if you're not with us, then you're against us. When, well, I'll let Stephen A. make the point because he makes the point better than I can.
She went to her own governor of the state of Texas, who's in a wheelchair, by the way. Keep that in mind. And listen to what she said about him.
We in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
Governor Hot Wheels. And the only thing that is hot about him is that he's a hot ass mess. And that's going to serve 750,000 constituency in the 30th District of Texas. That is what I was saying. Never mind what she feels. Never mind whatever level of justification you may have towards feeling the way that you feel. When you're in her position, that's not going to get you anywhere. That's what I was saying. What I was saying was this educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
So I'm having a conversation with a new girl at my job, and she was praising her husband. She's like, I have the best husband in the world. He loves me so much. And I asked her, I'm like, okay, what happened? I'm thinking he upgraded her ring, surprised her with a vacation. He dropped her off to work this morning.
The story in this TikTok is apropos because this is a woman who is happily married, and the woman she's getting advice from at work is essentially saying that there are only three things that a black man can bring to your relationship. He's bringing his wallet, he's bringing his bedroom feel good, and he's bringing his obedience. And if it's not those three, then he essentially should not be there. And you will hear exactly that in her advice.
He dropped her off to work this morning. They live in New Jersey and work in the city. And she said, he has a car, I don't. So he normally gets up and drives himself to work, and I have to take the bus. She said, I have to take 2 buses and a train. And she was like, today he woke up in such a good mood, and he said, I'll take you to work. She's like, on top of that, we stopped at the bodega, and he paid for my coffee and my sandwich. Ma'am, he does not like you. He does not love you. This is why you don't idolize relationships. You don't idolize marriages. A lot of women are single married moms. They have children too. And she said normally she has to take the bus everywhere with her kids because he has the car. He does not take his wife and his children anywhere. And she was praising him. Oh my God, he's so great. He had time to drop me off. I'm just so thankful for him. He's such a good husband. She doesn't even realize she's a single married woman. Like, she doesn't realize it. She's a single married mom. She does not realize it. And it is so sad, but I couldn't even say anything. I was too stunned to speak.
What this woman is essentially echoing is that if a man is going to come into my life, he needs to be a wallet, he needs to make me feel good, and he needs to basically fall in line in the place where I think a man should be. And if we're headed in a direction that I'm not happy with, then he can go overboard. Because the thing that she does not consider is that maybe he has a financial plan for them, and that's why they don't have a second car and the liabilities that come along with it. Maybe they're on a budget. Maybe they're saving money to buy a house or make a move in a year or two. Instead of seeing that plan, all she can see is, he's supposed to give me what I want. He's supposed to make me feel good. And if he's not doing that, then why is he even here? And quite simply put, leadership has to deal with feelings that are uncomfortable. There are going to be times when your leader, your coach, the captain of your team says, hey, suck it up. This is the thing we have to do right now if we want to win this game. This is what we have to do if we want to win down the road. And if winning down the road is don't talk to the guy that you don't like very much as the president in a derogatory way, and maybe play some political games so that you can get something for your constituents, and dare I say black people, then that's the game that you play, because that's part of a plan. But we can't do that plan if black men in particular are not allowed to say, hey, listen, put your feelings to the side and let's think about what our plan is down the road. Because if you're looking at me as someone who's going to walk in the door and empty my wallet and bend you over and make you feel good, that's not leadership. That is only usage. And too many men in our community have gotten used to the fact that leadership is laying her down, making her feel good, buying her something, and then her saying, I want you to stay around as leadership. Because what real leadership is what do we have to do right now that's uncomfortable so that in 15 or 20 years, our kids are going to Harvard. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.